Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. We're in part 2 of the Face Spider in the 3.5 Monster Manual. And our Face Spider has blue lower limbs, a blue face, blue back, and some blue spots on him. And predominantly he's white. So I've spray painted him white. I did not do a great job, but I do plan on coming back and painting him with more regular paint. This paint is almost empty. Let me get a different one. La 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 la. Let me get my crappy appy brush, which has become kind of my paint, my base coating brush, really. Probably should have put some water on that, but I didn't clean out my rinse water recently. I'm not worried about getting super perfect because he's already sprayed white, but I do want to get in here and kind of there's like a hole there. I cannot seem to get in. If my brush were wet, I would get in that hole though. Oh man, come on guys, don't laugh at that stuff. That's gross. Don't laugh at that stuff. Don't be amused by perversion of a old fat YouTuber. I don't know how fat I am. I'm fattish. An old fat YouTuber making videos in his basement. You're laughing at his pervy jokes. Shame on you. Gross. It's time to take a look in the mirror, folks. Laughing at that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh. How dare you. Alright. The logical step from here. So I didn't want to use pure white. What I wanted to do was do a gray and dry brush or two of white. But I wasn't sure if... because pure white looks very unnatural. It might not be too late to fix this. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Let's get this ivory color. Let's get some cardboard. Wait, no, let's not do the ivory. Let's do this granite gray. Since he's going to have blue, we don't have cool tones on him anyways. Let's get this. Let's get that base coat and brush out of the water. Wipe it out some. And let's paint him with this first. And again, you don't have to worry about the parts that are going to be blue. But you'd have to look at the artwork and know what those parts are to get to this point. So I haven't done that. So I'm just going to paint everything but the bottoms of his legs this color. Because I feel like I'm going to regret having pure white because it always looks very fake and unnatural and weird. And even though this is a fantasy miniature, it doesn't mean we can't add some bastion between realism and fantasy and silliness. And we can do that and create a happy mid-ground here. So now I'm going to feel like I'm going to be happier now. That's, you know, me. All right, let's get our white back out. Let's get a soft brush. This is a cheapy makeup brush. And let's do that. One of the mistakes I made while crafting this is not coming under here with some super glue and strengthening those bottoms up. I will tell you now, I don't feel good about not having done that in retrospect, because when I'm dry brushing upwards, I see a little bit of movement that I don't want. So, you know, if you haven't crafted yours yet, I would probably strengthen that up a little more than I did. Okay. Again, a lot of this underneath here is going to be blue, I think. So you don't have to spend an enormous amount of time on it. But I think you're going to get a more natural look with that than you would with just using pure white for sure. Alright, so we need to do the legs in a dark blue. I have this this is mountain blue. I want to use that Admiral blue. Hold on. This is called Admiral blue. And I'm going to get a brush that can give me some decent coverage, but I have some control with. I did not moisten the brush. Again, book of mistakes. Yeah, the paint's not flowing nice because I didn't moisten the brush. If you've been watching me since the beginning of me doing the channel, you used to notice that like in every video my workspace was perfectly clean when I started. And that's because I would come down and I would craft and I would work on several things at once. And then I would clean. And then I might not be down here, you know, the next day or whatever. But now I'm down here like every day pretty much. And I just kind of would rather spend my time making videos and doing other things than cleaning every time I can still craft here. Obviously, it's not a perfect workspace. There's mistakes and there's problems, and then sometimes I can't find things, get it and put them back. But I am okay with it now. At first I was like, oh, I better clean that up, and then I was just like, I just don't feel like I want to go play Minecraft with my boys, or I want to, you know, go harass Mrs. Doom. I say harass, but she likes it. So phase spiders are interesting. They're kind of like the other ethereal creatures that we've met, the ethereal marauder and the ethereal filcher. They have ethereal jaunt. They hunt on the material plane predominantly. They're a magical creature. But they go into the ethereal plane to stalk people. So that you don't know they're on you until it's kind of too late. Not sure the colorness thing here, but a lot of these ethereal planes creatures have like weird color things that, you know, don't mash with like what the natural color of something like that would be. For example, how interesting would this be if it was just a brown spider that went to a different plane of existence and then came and ate you? It wouldn't be very interesting, but a white and blue spider, well, that's different. We haven't seen that. And I would say that you could probably do this in a green or a red or any other color you wanted, and it would be interesting. But I kind of, for the most part, I try to stay with Unless it's like an owl and there's like 1,000 colors of owls. But this is like a magical creature that's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the standard is there. I just like to do things a little different sometimes. So let's look at, before I continue on painting the blue, let's look at the reference art and see what else needs to be blue on him. I'm going the wrong way. All right, so his face, his back, pretty much that's it. Okay. There are some little eyes on the sides of his head too, and I didn't realize that until just now. But that's okay. People ask me about why the monster manual. It's a lot harder than just making up my own stuff all the time. Which, by the way, that's not as easy as it seems either. Sometimes they come to me naturally and organically, and sometimes I got to force them. But Mrs. Doom was the one who came up with the monster manual idea. I was making boxes into buildings and just random stuff, and I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to get into. I wanted to show people how to make stuff cheap. And one of the things I always complain about is how much miniatures cost. That's why we started DungeonSwag.com, because we were like, man, miniatures are unreal. And she's like, you know what? There's a lot of miniatures that Dungeon Swag doesn't sell or make. And I said, yeah, you're right. And she's like, well, why don't you try to go through and show people how to make some of that stuff? She's like, you've done, you know, and if you do look at my collection, I do have a lot of custom minis. And now I didn't do them in a half-hour time format always. So, I mean, some of them are a little better than others. But I have made a lot of miniatures that we use in our actual gameplay. They're pretty decent. I wouldn't say that they're pro quality, but they're you can tell what they are and they do their job. And over time, as I get better or I have better ideas, I do replace some. For example, in this series, there's tons of monsters I've done, like the Aboleth and the Akira, that I'd love to go back and do again now that I think I could do a better job or I have a different idea how to do it. But often, my thing is I just come down here and make something with no plan. Even before I started YouTube, I'd just come down just to craft. I'm going to make something, and I'd go down here and make something, and I'd come up, and she'd be like, oh my God, babe, and I'd be like, yeah, I know. Get all excited. We're going to come back on a second coat on a lot of that. And the reason I dried is so that the paint was kind of like in place and the second coat would go over it well. And my brush is damp going into this time, so I'm pretty pleased with how it's going to work. Yeah, I am pleased. Getting much gooder flow on that paint. Now, I'm not going to do a perfect color job here on this second coat. It's predominantly blue already. I'm just kind of touching the areas that are real thin, where the paint didn't get good coverage, and I'm just trying to get that darkened up. See these little areas where the blue splashed over? I don't think that's going to matter much. I really don't. All right, so I'm going to wash that brush out. I'm going to get a smaller brush. And I'm going to get it damp. And then I'm going to do some transition dots. On the limbs here. I'm just doing 3 or 4 or 5, just depending on what I think looks good. Something like that, maybe. I kind of like to do some white dots onto the blue, but I don't think that would look great. Then I'm just going to come around the side here. And you can see I have some sloppy paint areas. And I'm just going to dab around and make these a little bigger. Something like that. Let's clean this up. I'm looking for a color I can't seem to find. It's called a ward blue. It's kind of a brighter blue. I just can't seem to find the damn thing. I'd be lying if I said my eyes are what they once were, though. I can't find my award blue. I didn't really want to bust out any of my miniature paints for this, but I think I'm going to have to because I just can't seem to find award blue. Mountain blue. Yeah, I can't find it. All right, we're going to call that a loss. Oh, I had this cool metallic blue. That's pretty light. Let's see if we can do this. This might be cool. Before we do that, let's dry him off. And let's get a crappy brush, something like this. And let's try to see what we can do with this silver blue. I know these things aren't metallic in any way, but this might look cool. And we can try it out. And if we don't like it, well, it'll just be wrong. And that's okay too. All right, so I'm just going to come along the top here with that, along the legs a little bit with that. His face. Really focus on those teeth. I like that. It was not the way he was supposed to look, but I do like it. I'm going to get that small brush. I'm going to get a little bit of that gray that I had up there. And I'm going to make a different color for his teeth so they're a little more pronounced. Or it could be her, I suppose. You can lift up the legs and check if you want. Okay. Just so it's a little different. I do like that. Oh, there's that damn award blue. I just, it was on the shelf instead of in my paint container. Son of a damn it. All right, so let's get white. And it says whitish silvery. So let's get a little dab of white here. Boop. Oh, that's a lot of white. Let's get a little bit of silver. This is called Brush Dark Gray. It's metallic. It's folk art paint. Oh, that's dark, dark. That might be hard to mix and get what I want exactly. I'm going to get the white, a good bit of the white, and a tiny bit of the gray. That metallic color there. And then he had his little eyes going back, and I don't know if I can really make those, but what I can do is just do a couple little dots to simulate where those eyes might be. Now, I made a mess up on my one eye here. I went over, and to fix that, I'm just going to get that metallic blue. I'm going to hit this with a hot air gun real quick. You know what? I'm not going to use that metallic blue. I'm going to use a different blue completely. It's not even on the model. This is called turquoise. Fudge. Fudge. Can't breathe. All right. And I'm going to get my insane detail brush that Mrs. Doom bought me for my birthday. Now, this is not the only thing Mrs. Doom bought for my birthday. But I will say it's probably the thing I've got the most use out of. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around those eyes lightly with a couple semicircles to clean up where my bad painting is. Get them along the bottom now. I'm going to do them along the top. I don't think that's really any more than that is what I'm going to do. I am going to clean that brush, however. And those eyes look a little plain. Okay. Let's figure out that base. I clean that brush off in my mouth. All my small brushes pretty much only get mouth cleanings. Like, I don't like to ruin my stuff. I don't want to get water up inside the bristles and get that sweet gum or whatever the stuff that holds the brushes together. I don't want to get that ruined. So I tend to just use my mouth. And you don't have to, but I think it's a good method. I've been doing it for so long now, I can't imagine doing any other technique on cleaning brushes. And I always worry about destroying them. I always worry about, you know, the expense of what it would be like to have to go buy new brushes. And don't get me wrong, I occasionally do get new brushes, but I don't like to spend money on like a bunch of stuff. That's why I'm such a cheap crafter. I'd rather spend my money on like having a nice home for my kids and, you know, Mrs. Doom being able to get work clothes for her new job. You know, I'd rather have money for good things. And crafting can be done cheap. It just takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of resourcefulness and a little bit of know-how, and sometimes it takes years of investment to get to that point. And when I say investment, I don't necessarily mean financial, but so much as I mean investing time and investing effort. And even if you talk back to like biblical tithing, you know, I don't even think that that was meant to be necessarily a financial thing. Like, I'm not like a super religious person or anything, but I have a lot of opinions on stuff because I am a human being. And I think that when they talk about tithing in a biblical sense, that it probably, like, I don't know, if you could read and write, maybe helping people figure out legal problems for free, or giving people discounts on stuff or helping feed the homeless. If you have extra, these all are things that probably would fall under that same kind of deal. Investments. Investing in others and investing in non-intrinsic things is not bad. It's not, investing in your own talents and your own creativity is good. I ramble because I'm trying to fill up time because my videos are so quiet. Now I'm rambling like this stupid. I mean, I'm not lying to anybody, but I'm rambling. I believe these concepts to be true. I think that we can, as a species, help each other a lot more than we do, and we don't need the involvement of other entities to help people. I think that if we all make an effort to do better by others and be less selfish, that a lot of our deficiencies in different areas can be fixed. All right. I'm not going to go into what I do because I don't want you to feel like what I do is the standard for doing for others. I don't want to set like some kind of weird Doom says you have to do this or you're not helping people. No. I don't want to tell you what you have to do to help people. I want you to think about what you can do to help people. I want you to figure out what works in your circle. For example, if you don't have money, that doesn't mean you can't go spend time at the community chest helping hand out Thanksgiving groceries, or that you can't go to a local church that's doing a food drive and help carry stuff or put stuff in buildings, or that you can't, go to a local school and donate crafting materials to their art department if you have some extra stuff laying around. Or you can't cut 1,000 strips of cardboard for a project that is going on in your kid's class and say, hey, instead of spending money, I cut all this cardboard for you so you guys can make your hats. You can do stuff that makes the world better without donating money. You can. Now, donating time and money together hand in hand sometimes can't be avoided. For example, like if you're doing an AA meeting, it's 35 minutes away. Obviously, it takes time. You have to have clothes that you can wear that are appropriate to go do that, and you have to have a vehicle to get there. Or if you have public transportation available, more power to you. But we don't have much in the way of public transportation where I'm at. But you have to have gasoline money to go. A lot of times when you spend a lot of time volunteering, you don't have time at home to cook meals or to sit down and eat the way you'd want to. So you find yourself having to have money to eat, so you don't starve while you're doing volunteer stuff. So really just find what works for you in your world, even if it's just getting a garbage bag and cleaning up a local park. Make contributions to society, and I guarantee you, if we all make an effort to at least once a week go out and do something for the world, you'll see improvements that you'll love. So here we are. That's him. I'm gonna hit him with hot air and let's get some flock on that base. Yesterday I did the phantom mushroom or phantom fungus, and I forgot to flock its base, and it irks me. If you like what I'm doing here, probably shouldn't do the call to action during a hot air gun of burning use, but magic items do warrant the need for call to action as well. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave me a comment. I love comments. Check out the website, www.dungeonswag.com. There's a link in the description. Buy some miniatures. Not these miniatures. Not this guy that we just made, but real miniatures. High quality, sturdy, beautiful miniatures that are affordably priced so that everyone can get them. I promise you, we go out of our way to make a good product. We make something that we would want for ourselves, and I do want them for myself. I use them, I paint them, they're on my tabletop. Let's get some clear glue. Come to our Discord, show off your crafting skills. Oh my gosh. Sweeney, there's condom on that glue. Get you a toothpick. But yeah, we're really interested in what people are crafting, and I've seen a lot of stuff on there that's not miniatures related or D&D related, but it's like a Yoshi from Mario that someone made with wool, and a sword a guy's making, and some pipes and wooden spoons that have been carved and miniatures. It's just everything, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing here. It's interesting. Share your talents with people. Let people get ideas and inspiration from the things you do. Don't be a shyster with your... Can't say shyster anymore. Don't be stingy with your creativity. Share it with the world. Let it inspire others. All right, there we go. That's our face spider. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Dungeons and Doom Biscuit.